Hey everybody, it is me, Lenora from It's a New Dawn. I am an RN holistic health coach, just very passionate of bringing you just quote unquote normal people who want to share their stories, and in hopes of even touching one person, just making a difference. Even when I say even, one person is just as important as many as there are in the world, to me anyway. And everybody that I've gotten on so far has been from TikTok, as I've been saying. And I've been kind of in a slow little thing here just because I still have my kids here from California. So I've been doing the best I can as far as getting some podcasts out to you. And this gentleman who is here with me today reached out to me in a private DM. His name is Jayson Michael Albanese, and he is on TikTok. I don't know much about Jayson, but I do know that he wants to talk about the stigma around Asperger's. Is that correct, Jayson?
That is correct.
That is correct. And I personally, I have a niece, a nephew, both who are on the spectrum. And, this is everyday life. And I'm glad that he reached out to me because I want to hear his perspective and his story. So I'm going to turn the camera over to you, Jayson.
All right.
And you take it away.
Like she said, my name's Jayson. I hail from Smithfield, Rhode Island. I like to call it, well, we Rhode Islanders call it Little Rhodey, but we're in the northeast of the New England region. Sorry, that was my cat.
That's okay. No, this is real life, you guys. And I just want to FYI, I did purchase a new light. I don't know how well it's going to do, how good it's going to be during the whole podcast, but those of you who have joined me before know that I have issues with the light thing. And if you hear dog or a cat, this is just real life. So just deal with it.
We all try to get that perfect angle of light.
Yeah, I don't, no perfection here. That's okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jayson. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
When I was born in 82. So they had the what my dad calls the suction cup. So
okay.
When they were delivering me, when I came out, I kind of had a cone to my form to my head. Comes to find out, I had too much blood in my brain. So as I got a little older in my toddler years, my parents noticed I wasn't like everybody else. I was slower to learn.
Can I ask one question, Jayson, now?
Sure.
The blood to the brain, was that from the suction cup, or was it just?
I think it was from the forceps that they had to use because what my parents have explained to me is that if they had never used it, would I have been a regular person? Which to me, I'm as normal as God made me. And we grew, I'm the oldest, my brother and my sister, we grew up in a Christian home. So we were always taught God created us in his image. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but it's what I personally believe. I know everyone has their own belief system, and I do not judge anyone on their beliefs.
I love it, Jayson. You know what I say, and I have gotten this from a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, from her friend, and the little quote is, "God made me this way."
Exactly.
So when people say to me, "God, you're so weird," or "You're so sensitive," and I'm like, "God made me this way." God made me this way. That's my answer. So
with some of my
Jayson, go ahead.
With some of my closest friends, they have called me a little crazy. Not a bad crazy, but like funny crazy. Like dude, you just do crazy things. I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you jump from one subject to another within a minute. And that's what autism is, because the focus with Asperger's is a high functioning autism, and it's very low on the spectrum, but it's now being considered, it's the change in the name to autism spectrum disorder. So, or ASD. And what it does is it hinders decision making. It doesn't hinder being able to live on your own. I live on my own. I got 2 cats. I drive. I'm able to work, but I don't work. I get state funding. I get disability, full benefits and everything. So with the help with my parents, they help me with my bills and any other finances that I need done. But I live to me, I live a very boring life, because all I do is watch movies or go food shopping, because all my friends have. Oh no,
Is
go
that
ahead.
because of no, that's okay. And we are going to get back on track, because even somebody who has not been diagnosed with Asperger's or autism, I jump around also, and I'm sorry about that, and I got you off a track from when you were pulled out and with the forceps.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
But no, what I was going to ask you, are you this way right now because of COVID, or are you always like that? Like, you like to be home, watch your movies, do you?
I was helping out a friend who owns a cell phone repair shop, and I had been I don't like to say let go. I want to say I was let go, but it was more of a mutual thing. And it was because of my decision making that I was let go. So I haven't been able to get extra income coming in since October. My friend's business had suffered because of this of the pandemic. So he had 3 locations. He had one in Warwick, which was our main store, one in North Providence, and one in Woonsocket. And the Warwick and Woonsocket stores were shut down. So
what kind of store was it? What kind of store?
It was a the business is called Buy Sell Fix, and if anyone needs to sell something, or if you need a phone fixed or something, you can order parts from them. If you go to Buy Sell Fix, it's .com. It's capital BUY capital CELL capital FIX.com. You can go on there. You can see how much you can trade your phone in for cash, but I believe you have to do that stuff in person, because they need a copy of identification in case something's stolen or whatever. They have to cover themselves. And so in Rhode Island, we have a law where small business owners, like a pawn shop or something, needs to go through the Rhode Island Treasury, so that we can send out all our paperwork at the end of the day to our local police station, so that if something is reported stolen, they can go back to these small businesses that buy used items and figure out where it was purchased. So he buys gaming consoles like Xbox Ones, PS3s, PS4s, he'll basically buy anything that has a resale to it.
Okay.
If it's got more
Okay.
than a $25 resale, he can buy it.
Gotcha.
Because he does eBay.
Uh-huh.
So he sells off at eBay. He buys in store. He repairs iPhones. We used to see. I'm still saying we. He used to do all phones until the parts really started getting expensive because China was. Sony had started using the batteries for the iPhones, so they're not just doing the Androids; they're doing iPhones too. So they're so he just does Apple products now. So if somebody has a cracked screen or something and they know how to repair it, all they have to do is go to the website, call the North Providence number, and they'll give you the address to the to where you can buy the parts, and they'll send it out to that person.
Gotcha. Jason, it sounds like there's like a
I have my fan on. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. That's okay. And
Yeah.
I want to see your beautiful face a little better. So no. You can stay right there, but you're moving downward. I want to see you.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to. No. That's okay. So let's start from the beginning. You were born and they diagnosed you. You had too much blood to the brain, and go ahead.
I was about 7 years old when I got diagnosed with ADD, ADHD.
Okay,
so,
but you weren't diagnosed with like autism or Asperger's or anything like that.
Because autism back then wasn't really something that they looked at. And, I mean, I'm talking about the 80s. They didn't really start doing studies on autism till like the early 90s. So, I was special ed throughout from first grade to 12th grade.
And that's because why? Because
my learning disability.
Okay, you were like lagging behind.
Yeah. Like my parents, I was supposed to graduate in 2000 because, I'm at the tail end of the Generation X generation. So 2000 should have been my graduation year, but because my parents
graduation from high school.
2001.
From high
I was
school.
19. I was 19.
From high school. Okay. And then when you were in school, did you have like social issues like with other children, or was it more of a learning like math and English and all of that?
Math is my favorite subject. Growing up as a kid, science was my big go-to, but that all changed my I want to say my sophomore year or junior year or something like that, where my teacher was telling us about the Big Bang Theory, and in my mind I was thinking of saying this, but I ended up saying it out loud. I said, the Big Bang Theory is fake. It's a made up hypothesis. And she goes, how do you know? And she goes, and I go, it says it right here in my Bible. And I would take my Bible to school every day. And she goes, what does your Bible say? And I said, it says, in the beginning, God had created the heavens and the earth. And she goes, do you understand that what that says? It's made by man. I'm like, but through God's words, it's through man, so she couldn't mess with me because I had read the Bible as a teenager and as in late teen. So I've read the Bible twice from cover to cover. And so that kind of got me in trouble with her and my principal. And so my junior
What
year was really,
happened? What happened when you did that? What did they do? They send you to the principal office?
she basically flunked me because I wouldn't do the report. So I told her, I said,
Oh,
if you're gonna force me to do this, I'm not gonna do any of the work. So, and I told that to my principal. I told that to the assistant principal, and they said, well, if you do that, you're gonna fail it. So mid-year, I switched health classes. So I had to go from one health class to another, and I was behind. So I failed health my senior year, and so they told me my one 24 hours before I was supposed to graduate, I needed to take a CPR course. I took an hour-long CPR course, ended up graduating the next day. Was in the Providence Journal, which is our state paper. I had my picture taken hugging a classmate, and it was the first time. And I know my dad has always been proud of me, but it was the first time he actually said it to me. You know, he goes, "I'm very proud of you. You did it. You graduated high school. I'm proud of you." So that, and having the disability, it was hard to grow up with that, and to make friends. I had to like, in my mind, I had to like what they liked, and I ended up liking what they liked because I was around them all the time, and it kind of grew on me. So
like what? What did you like
like
that they liked?
like I wasn't big into like what is it like playing outside or anything like that, but when I because I'm from the city. I'm originally from Cranston, so which is the second largest city in Rhode Island.
The wind from the fan is really loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'll turn it off. No, it's fine.
That's okay.
I live on the second floor, so the heat.
Yeah, you might have to sweat a little bit for the next half hour or so.
No. I apologize with that. I'm sorry.
Okay, don't apologize. It's okay. I'm just reminding you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So growing up, it was hard because I was different than all the other kids. So.
But when were you diagnosed formally? Like when were you diagnosed? Okay, your son has Asperger's.
I was 24, or no,
Wow.
23. Between 23 and 24, it was like I got approved for Social Security in 2005. Then because my aunt is a social worker and she works with the handicap and with people with learning disabilities, she mentioned to my mom that there's a new study going on that I fit the
criteria.
What's the word? Yeah, there we go.
Criteria.
Yeah. So my mom had me evaluated, and it comes out that I have Asperger's. And I'm like, what is Asperger's? And they said it's a sort of type of autism. And I'm like, so what you're saying is I'm stupid? And they're like, no, you're not stupid. You're perfectly fine. It's just you learn very slow. And when I was 24, I had the brain mentality of a 13 or 12-year-old. So growing up with a delayed brain development, I had more childlike thoughts and not thinking before acting.
Right.
So that's
so you look
me,
your age, right? Yep. You look your age, and then you're acting like 15 years younger than you were.
Exactly. Well, so
I'm
38. I still
very confusing.
I have a lot of female friends, and they're like, men never change. They never grow up. I'm like, I'm 38 years old and I still collect toys. What are you talking about? Like
I get it. I'm almost 56 and I don't act my age for anything.
you do not look
No, I
50.
get it.
You do not look 56. I actually thought you were
I'll,
like early 40s.
I'll be 56 November 1st. Thank you.
Well,
But I want to talk about your diagnosis too. Like, I
yeah.
know somebody who was diagnosed with Asperger's way later in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually felt like a wave of relief. Like, he actually was like, he was happy because it was finally something that explained his behavior and why
Yeah.
he did what he did, why he acted the way he did. He's perfectly normal.
Mm-hmm.
But being told, like, some people that go and they're trying to find what's wrong with them, and I'm not talking about Asperger's, like in general, anything, like, oh, the doctor doesn't find anything wrong with me, but they're still not feeling great. They still have issues, right? And it's very
Yep.
frustrating for some. So when you were finally diagnosed, you knew something was off, right? And
To
then
be honest, I didn't know. Because I was on so many different types of Ritalin. Like, I was on Ritalin. Then when Ritalin became illegal to prescribe, I was on time release. And then when I hit high school, I was on Concerta and fluoxamine, which I'm still on fluoxamine, but I'm on dexatrine now, which is generic Luvox, which is I believe is my Ritalin or Adderall or whatever you want to call it. And so with the Asperger's comes social anxiety, depression, and just over the last few months, I developed PTSD because of the rioting and what I saw as a 10-year-old, which you would remember the LA riots. I mean, I wasn't in LA physically, but watching a man, a group of men grab a white man out of his truck and beating him almost to death literally scared me. And my dad, it happened so quick, my dad couldn't turn my head, so I saw that, and every time I see these riots or anything, it just gets my stress level up, and I have like a panic attack, and that's just watching it on the news. So
yeah, I got you.
I try not to watch that kind of stuff, but I'm a history buff. So when there's like a documentary for an anniversary that happened in U.S. history, I'll watch it, even though it's painful to watch. I like to get the backstory on what happened. So it's just I know, being a kid, not knowing what was going on, all I knew is that Black people were upset because a white person did something wrong. Now that I'm 38, I see this all happening again. Like 28 years later, it's like, have we not learned from our past actions to right now? So it's scary, I'm a very outspoken person. My parents worry for my safety. My grandmothers worry for my safety, but it's like, I tell my dad, and my dad is worried for me. He goes, got to be careful what you say nowadays. You can't just go nilly-willy out there and say what you want to say, because they'll hold that against you. I'm like, well, I'm going with my constitutional right as freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want. But if somebody's going to shut me down, I want them to give me facts before they shut me down. So
right. Do you feel like you have no boundaries? Like,
oh yeah, my boundary.
And I want to say with like Asperger's, do you feel like that's one of the
Yeah, that's one of the things, because like when
And
I
I
when
just
I
speak about experience. I speak
yeah.
about experience. My nephew has Asperger's, and he's very outspoken, and he just
Mm-hmm.
says what is on his freaking mind. I love him. He's Nick, I love
No
you.
filter. No
Oh,
filter.
no filter, no filter. And he's so smart, and he just graduated college. He's so great. No filter, none.
Hmm.
He just says, when we know Nick is like that, Nick will just say what it
Well,
says. So
for him to have Asperger's and for him to graduate college is a very big accomplishment because,
oh man, it's so big. I just
you
got the
know,
chills because I'm
I'm
so
getting the
proud of
chills
him.
at the back of my
Me
neck. It's
too.
like, oh,
I'm
the
so
hair,
proud of him.
you know.
Yeah, he's so smart. And just like he excels in the math, in
Mm,
the science and the math, history, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
and is that true? Is that, I don't know if this is to be true, but I feel like the Asperger's, people who have Asperger's excel really in like maybe one area, like
Yeah.
engineering, or like, is that true?
It's more like um visual and hands-on type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped taking my medication from the day after graduation up until April of 2009. So between 2001 and 2009, I had maybe about 20 different jobs in the matter of 8 years. And because of that, I saw that there was something wrong with me because I would just lose my temper just at the smallest little things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how, like, I worked for Home Depot for 11 and a half months. I
Mm-hmm.
worked 2.5 in Cleveland, and I made that mistake of moving out there for a girl, which I'll never move for a girl ever again. If a girl wants to meet me, she can come and visit me here. I'm not leaving.
We all learn our lessons. We all learn
Yes.
our lessons,
Yup.
Jason.
Yup.
You're a better person for it. Now you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah.
And now you know.
Like, that's where I got the nickname Crazy, is because when I made that move, everyone's like, dude, you're crazy, you crazy. So
We do crazy things for
yeah.
love, though.
And I
Yeah.
found, you know, I fall hard sometimes, and but after after that all went out, I walked out on Home Depot because I asked if I could be moved into like the hardware department or whatever to help customers. They said this comes from the general manager of the store. Now he's like
Okay.
28 years old. He's like 5 years older than me. He goes, retards like you do not deserve to be in a store. You're only good for
Oh.
pushing carriages and
Oh.
doing that. I'm like, excuse me? I wanted to
Oh.
jump across the table and wring the guy's neck. I'm like, you got a
Oh.
guy who's in a motorized wheelchair pushing carriages. He goes, yeah, we see that as a frown. We frown upon that. So we have to give him some kind of position. And I'm like, if you were in the state of Rhode Island, you'd be fired, and this Home Depot would have been closed for discrimination. And they're like, well,
Yeah.
we're not here. We make our own laws and our own rules. I'm like, well, guess what? I'm done. Because there was one day that this happened on a day that I was on by myself. I had to come in at 7:00 in the morning and work until closing, which was at 11:30. So I worked from 7 in the morning till like 3 in the afternoon without a break, which is against federal and state law. And I'm sitting in the back just having a drink of soda, and the general manager comes in and is like, the law is all. I had only been on break for 1 minute, and he comes storming in, embarrassing me, yelling at me like I'm a child. And I'm like, you know what? Take this job and shove it, because I'm done. So I got in my car, went back to the apartment, and that's when another problem happened. So my dad took took a train out to Ohio to come drive back with me. Was I upset that I was going back home? Yes. Was I glad I was going back home? Yes. Did I want to go back home? No. I enjoyed that freedom where I didn't have to worry about having to come in at a certain time and stuff like that. So, and because of that trip, my dad ended up having nerve damage done to his leg and his thigh, because the day that he came out was the day of the London bombings of the buses. They stopped the train, and my dad he couldn't stand, he couldn't get it. They wouldn't let anyone off the train to stretch their legs. So my dad sat for 24 hours.
Oh.
So, yeah. So my dad comes up and he's like, Jayson, let's go. I want out of here. Like, my dad, he does not want to leave the borders of Rhode Island or New England unless he really, really has to. So, he's that type of person. Yeah. And I'm sorry.
Are you an only child? Are you an
Nope.
only child?
No.
Oh, okay. So,
no, I have a younger brother who just turned 35 in July, and my sister who is 34, who just had her birthday last month.
Okay. Tell me about, like, what do you want everybody to know about Asperger's and, coming on the show? And I know you wanted to talk about the challenges and all of that and how it was growing up. So,
well, I know.
Tell me about that.
I know growing up with my brother and sister, it was hard because my brother and sister are only 13 months apart. They're Irish twins. So it was hard for me to interact with them. I never got along with my sister, never got really along with my brother. But as we got older, and we all moved out of the house, we kind of, grew together. But we still bicker and fight. Even if my brother lives in Florida, I'll still yell at him over the phone. We'll just get into an argument. That's what family does. So, but I wouldn't necessarily change my life. The only thing is if I could go back, I would change some decision making that I poorly made, and but my life with my family, I would never change that, because my family has, especially my mom's done so much for me that there's no possible way I can thank her, because how do you thank a parent that has gone backwards and forwards to get you what you need?
Just be kind to your mom and dad.
Oh, I try, but she gets on my nerves.
just be kind. That's the best gift you can give your mama. I have 5 children. When they're just being kind is a good thing.
Well, my parents got married young. My mom was 17 and my dad was 20. So
okay. So they're young.
3 years later I came along, and then 3.5 years later after me was my brother, and then my sister. So but yeah, my parents just celebrated 41 years of marriage. Nice. They've been together since 76. Nice. And so it's just, I wouldn't say that Asperger's really hindered me on certain things. It's just, it's hard to explain, because when I was 24, I didn't really understand what autism was. I knew what it was. It's just, I have my cousin's oldest son. He's got autism. Like, he didn't speak for the longest time, so that's what I thought I was going to become. And when they said autism, that's when I'm like, so I tell my mom, I said, Ma, I have what Tommy's got, right? And she goes, no, no, no. What you have is a high functioning autism, which is far down the spectrum of autism. It's on the autism spectrum, but so far down that it's high functioning. You can do whatever, you can still do what you want to do. So when I start dating someone, I tell them straight out, and my mom and my dad tell me never to not say it, because if I don't tell them, they're going to wonder why I act the way that I do. So
yeah, I have to disagree with that. I have to say that, and I'm not speaking against your parents, but for me, it's always about being totally honest with that other person where you want to be in a relationship with, because to me, it's not worth it. I've said this so many times, it seems, in the last 5 days with my own children, with their significant other. Like, if that other person cannot accept you for everything that you are on the outside and the inside, then I wouldn't even I wouldn't have the effort to be able to continue in a relationship, because it's more work to try to be somebody that you're not.
Exactly.
So to me, it's like you have to be totally upfront and honest. I'm not saying go out on a date, the first date, and say, by the way, I'm this, and that, and I look like this in the morning and whatever. But I'm saying that, over time in the beginning, those are all things that I feel, it's my personal opinion, to be totally upfront and honest in every way.
I try to be as honest as I can. I tell the person, I'm like, if I say something offensive, or if I do something that offends you or embarrasses you, you need to tell me on the spot, because if you don't, and I keep doing it, and it gets to the point where you just blow up at me, there's going to be problems, because you aren't addressing the problem that I'm giving. I don't do it purposely.
One of the things that's one of the things you tend to do, right? Is like you'll say things that you may not even think
exactly
that they're bad. Like, for instance, like, wow, you look really shitty today.
I don't think I could ever say that to somebody's face.
I'm just saying that, like something like, and I'm talking about experience from somebody who has Asperger's that said this, like, you look really shitty today. Like, just just say it. And I didn't know that this person had an issue or had Asperger's or anything. I'd be like, listen, that may not be something you want to do if you ever dated a woman or whatever. So is that what you mean? Like, just saying things and not even,
or just teasing? Like, my father teased me and my brother and my sister, but more me and my brother. My dad's father teased him and his brother, and his mother teased him. So it's a long line. It's what I call the Albanese gene. It's handed down. It's handed down through the generations. So I tend to tease a lot, and when I tease, I usually put a serious face on. Like, I'll be like, yeah, I just punched the guy. And then 5 seconds later, I'm like, no, I'm just joking. I'll start laughing because because I know that I can't just straight lie to them like that, so, but I do warn girls when I do date them that I have Asperger's. It's on the autism spectrum, but that doesn't mean that you have to take care of me. I can take care of myself, because when I say that to them, when I say I have autism, I can see it in their eyes. Because I'm an eye person. I like to keep eye contact. Sometimes I wander, but I still keep an eye contact. I can see that they're like, oh, great, somebody with a disability. I'm going to have to take care of them. Da, 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 da. The only reason why I bring up the autism is because they ask me what I do for work. And because I'm on housing, I get HUD or Section 8. I don't know what everyone in the United States calls it, but because I'm on Section 8, I can't work or my rent goes up. Right now, I'm paying about $185 for a $900 apartment. So, do I want to work? Of course I do. Am I limited to what I can do? No, I can do whatever I put my mind to. But after what happened in October, I decided, I'm like, I can't trust myself to work, because if I make the wrong decision, I could get in some really bad trouble, depending on what decision I make. So I do work hard, but I make it look like I'm not working at all. You know, there have been places that I worked that I've gotten my work done before, you know, within 15, 20 minutes. And then I get the whole project done in that time span. And the owner does not know what else to give me. He just sends me home. So it's just, you know, I've worked in the food business. I've worked in retail. I also worked for the Kirby company. And that's where I met my friend Dave, who owns the cell phone place. And it was him and his wife who really put the confidence in me, because I had a complete panic attack. I had lost my license. He needed a copy of it so he could have it on file when he had his Kirby business. And he goes, all right, Jay, hold on. Calm down. You're fine. I don't need it right away. Get issued a new license, and when you get the license, just bring it, you know. And I ended up building a friendship with him on that. So from 2007 till 2019, I had worked for him and him alone. And we worked together with Kirby. We both worked together doing carpet cleaning. It wasn't your typical carpet cleaning. We used floor buffers to clean carpets. It was like a dry clean type thing.
A cleaner way of cleaning the carpets.
Yeah, the company's name was called Little Rhodey Chem Dry. It was the company that the owner would get the materials from was Chem Dry Industries. And we would use these special chemicals and use a buffing technique. So some carpets would come out perfectly white or whatever, brighter, but it's the harder stuff, like the commercial carpeting that you see in office buildings and stuff. Those never really you can never get dirt off of those things.
Right.
But and then he opened this cell phone place, and I worked. I can't say work, because then it, you know, I was helping him out, but to me it was a job, because I was doing something and he was helping me out. So I was doing all his online ads and stuff for the stuff that he would buy. We put away for 2 weeks, and then after the 2-week period, I take them out and take pictures of them, post them on eBay, and write out the ads for him. And then I had a problem with this kid who was always on my on me the last few weeks, and it just got to the point where I told my friend Dave, I'm like, dude, you got to do something about Austin. I'm about to lose it. It's either I strangle him and go to jail or I quit. He didn't want me to quit. So I told him, I said, Dave, I have to quit. So I quit. And him and his wife were very upset that I was leaving, because they know that I won't have extra income coming in and stuff like that. So it was a rough transition from childhood to teenage, then from teenager to adulthood. But as I got into my 30s, that's when my brain started functioning a little bit into adulthood. And by the time I was 35, I had a brain scan done, and they said that I have a fully developed adult brain. And I'm like, so it took me 35 years to get a fully developed brain. And they're like,
hey,
no.
That's good though. 35 years. You're young.
They
and you're how old? You're how old now?
I'll be 39 in January.
Okay, so your brain caught up with your age.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. You still.
I'm
a
collector. I'm a collector of Transformers,
that's
Hot
okay.
Wheels, you know.
That's all right. I mean,
so it's just.
what do you do on TikTok? What do you do on TikTok? Do you have like a
TikTok's actually saved my life, and I know that my friend did an interview with you. I don't want to say any names because I don't know if it's huh?
Oh, Katie?
Yes, Katie. Yeah.
Yeah, Katie.
Yeah,
Katie Hoffman.
Yep. She's an awesome person, and it's like what she said. TikTok's really saved my life because of my social anxiety, not being able to go out and meet new people. TikTok actually helped me do that, you know. Like, I'm used to going to these apps that do live feeds and stuff, live streams, and you can communicate with the broadcaster, or whatever you want to say it, the host. So, you know, I've done a few live streams on Facebook. I've done some on Live Me. But with TikTok, it's so different, because it used to be Musical.ly, and that was a kid's app, and then it transferred into TikTok. And now, because of the pandemic, more Gen X, more millennials are on it. Right. Even the baby boomers are on there too, you know.
Agree.
So it's like it's and the kids are starting to hate it because of that. You know, they're like, "Oh, you're too old to be on here," and it's like, you know what? I'm here.
Well, that's what happened with Facebook. That's what happened with Facebook. It was a younger.
Yep.
Younger
it was
crowd,
for the college students, and then he sold it, and it went public.
All the people, the people like my age are on there. You know, but so are you building a platform with people with Asperger's on TikTok, or just general everybody?
Anyone can follow me. I prefer 21 and plus, but if you're a mature 18, 19, 20-year-old, you're welcome to follow me. But I try to keep it 21 and older because of my age. I don't want to be considered, oh, he's a 38 creeper. you know?
No, I get it.
I watch.
Is there anything else? What? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I used to watch How to Catch a Predator, and to see people my age at that time when it first aired, to see 23, 22-year-olds going after 14, 13-year-olds. It's like,
it's horrible.
Are these people dumb? They're not going to know that they're going to get caught, you know? So my friend had asked me to join this group on Facebook. It's called Save the Children, and it's an organization through Facebook that is trying to stop sex trafficking with children and sexualizing children. And I do not stand for that. I don't stand for pedophilia. That to me, like if somebody did that to my niece and nephew, I would be on the hunt. I'd be like Daryl in Walking Dead. I'd be having a crossbow going after all the pedophiles just because somebody did that to my niece or nephew. And I could not imagine what parents go through when their child goes through something like that, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's just, you know, I'm on, if people want to follow me, they can. I do put adult theme because I'm Irish, Italian, and Scottish. So my vocabulary is adult, you know? So, I'm on Twitter at Jayson Albanese 45. I'm on Snapchat. That's Red Dragon with 2 D's, 1982 45. I'm on Instagram, which is the same as my Snapchat, but it's I believe it's 2345 for Snapchat. My TikTok is at Jayson Michael Albanese, all lowercase, all one word. My Facebook is what my TikTok name is, you know.
I'm gonna have all this information in the show notes.
And anyone can message me if they have any questions or if they feel like they need a new friend to talk to, you know. I've been I don't know how to word this. I have tried suicide like 5 times, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was more in high school and junior high, and I've tried shooting myself. The gun literally jammed. I tried hanging myself. The rope broke. I tried drowning myself, and that didn't work because my dad came and got me, like pulled me out of the water. And I tried cutting myself, and my mom had walked in on me in my room with a knife, and she goes, "What are you doing with that?" "Oh, I'm just playing with it." And she took it away from me. So it's just, you know, and I've tried to overdose on aspirin. So, but
Jason,
it's not.
Is this your goal? Like, to be on here is just to have people know that and I didn't know this about you, but that there is hope, because look at you now. I mean, is that what
it does come into my mind, but then I'm like, you know, it's, you know, because in the back of my mind as a Christian, if I do that, am I going to heaven or am I going to hell? Am I, you know, I'm into the paranormal. I'm a ghost hunter. I've been a ghost hunter for 12 years. And it's just that little thing. What would God or Jesus think if they see me doing to myself? Are there ways of getting out of suicide? Of course, there are prevention hotlines. You can reach out to family members, friends, or even if you're a teenager, talk to a teacher or a counselor, because, you know, to be honest, I'm done hearing about 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds killing themselves because of bullies, whether they're cyber bullies or bullies in general. Because I was bullied, and then when I stood up to those bullies, they stopped because they saw how crazy I was. They didn't want to mess with me. So, you know, I've been out of high school for almost 20 years now, and over the 20 years, I've seen the kids who have bullied me, and they would just come up to me like we were cool and stuff, be like, oh my God, Jay, it's been so long. How you been? So I go along and I say, it's been all right. How you doing? Because that's who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do I forgive them for picking on me? Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Will I ever forget what they did to me? No. Because
Mm-hmm.
from the age of 8 till 10, every day after school, this kid who lived behind me and my family and his 4 brothers, who were between the ages of 13 and 17, would circle around me every day after I get off the bus. They would surround me and beat me up. So, so my dad always said to me, if somebody puts their hands on you, you have all the right to fight back. So if somebody was to punch me or push me or anything, I have a 3-touch rule. So if somebody hits me twice, they better knock me out the 3rd time, because that next punch is coming from me. So, but I try not to fight. I try to talk my problems out. I don't try to go into violence, but if it has to go, and I'm a big believer in the philosophy of Bruce Lee. His fighting style was more non-violent than it was violent. So, it's like that. It's like his saying, you can crash or you can flow like water. If you crash, you're gonna destroy your life with violence. You want to flow. You want to have that peace of mind where have a civil conversation. If it doesn't get to that, don't throw the first punch, because then you're at fault. That's what my father always taught me. Never throw that. Let them hit you.
And isn't Bruce Lee the one who said, "Be like water"?
That's where I got that from. Yep, that's
be
my
like
favorite
water.
saying that he's ever said.
Be like water.
Yep.
Yeah.
In that interview, he goes, "Be like water, my friend."
I love it. Now, listen. What is the message you want others to know, whether it's about Asperger's or the audience and the listeners?
I want people to know that don't judge a book by what's on the outside. Get to know somebody. Don't just automatically churn around and say, oh my God, this person's this, and this. Because Asperger's, it may be hard to understand, but you're gonna, you will not find anyone more loyal than somebody who's got not the mindset of a child, but the mindset of kindness, and and with dating, it is hard to date when you're on the spectrum. I was married for 2 years. I'll leave you off with this one. I got married at 28. My wife at that time was 39, going on to be 40 2 months later. So we were married 7 months, and she goes and sleeps with a kid who was 25. So I didn't mind her having friends, guy friends, but when she slept with that kid, that just broke my trust with her, and then she would abuse me emotionally, physically, mentally, verbally, so, and I'm not quiet about my abuse, because men need to come out. Men need to come out. If you're being abused by a loved one, or you're being abused by your wife or girlfriend, you need to say something, because it's not bad to ask for help. Because you're a man does not mean that makes you weak. it'll make you stronger in the long run, because to me, a crazy woman is something you do not want to mess with. But my mom always said, happy life, happy wife.
That's right. My husband says it all the time. No, it's happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. I had it backwards.
Yes. You know how many times we've said that? Like, right on, hon.
But
you got it
my
right.
message is for the people out there with learning disabilities, whether it's ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, autism, whatever. Don't be afraid to let love in, because it's hard for me to find that right person, but God has a purpose for all of us. And if that purpose has a soulmate for you, which I believe everyone does.
Yes, there's someone out there for everyone. I believe that.
I say, go out there, put yourself out there, you know, whether it's making people laugh like I try to, but don't be afraid. If you're being hurt by a loved one, do not be afraid to call somebody or tell somebody, so that it can be put to a stop, because so many people are dying because of domestic violence, and I don't want to see any more death. You know, I want to see everyone like in the 60s Coke commercial, holding hands around the world. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So something like that, you know. But
I love it.
It's just, you know, I just want to see people get along. I'm just sick and tired of seeing all this fighting.
I know.
You know?
I know. So, you're not alone. You're not alone in that. Jayson, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm truly honored that you reached out to me. I'm really honored. Hang out for a second. I just want to do my little spiel. You guys can all get in touch with me. All my links will be below as usual. If you want to get in touch with me, my Google number is 609-429-4058. If anybody wants to text me, be on the show, give me any feedback, any new ideas for the show, feel free to get in touch with me. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Rawr Bar, which is the bar that I'm an affiliate and ambassador of. They have 11 flavors. They're giving 10% of their net proceeds to feed the hungry children worldwide. They are raw and they are vegan, but good for any diet. Protein pack, they have about 19 to 21 grams of protein a bar, 11 to 13 net carbs, no artificial sweeteners, and put together by coconut oil. I just did a whole health and wellness tip about the Rawr bars, so go back into my YouTube videos and you can find out more about them. I'm passionate about this bar. Sweetened by coconut nectar and blackstrap molasses, a little bit of Himalaya salt, and organic. And they're made in Rogers, Minnesota, in a very small facility, made with love and care. If you are going to order, please go to my link below, which is my affiliate link. I make a little bit off of whatever purchases happen, and it helps me to keep continuing with the podcast. On that note, thank you, Jayson, for coming. I wish everybody a wonderful and blessed day.
Same to you.